Hey, this is Jim Silver, and welcome to Shop Talk, where we will talk about the toy industry, trends, licensing, public relations, online, e-commerce, everything affecting your business. And say hello to my co-host,
Jennifer Lynch.
If you want to see these interviews, don't forget to subscribe and click that red button so you get these interviews without searching for them.
And today we are going to be tackling a big subject that a lot of people in the industry have been talking to us a lot about, and that is Toy Fair 2019. What's hot? What we saw on the show floor? It's a common question that we get asked all the time.
My 35th Toy Fair, and you've had quite a few also.
Number 8, just finished. So checking that off the
between
list.
The two of us, 40 plus years, and we bring a different perspective because a lot of mine is old time perspective. I think about the toy building in the aisles. So what were your overall thoughts of this Toy Fair?
So usually, like, one of the big things that I get asked is just simply, what was the hot item? And I don't know how you felt about it, Jim, but like, I didn't really necessarily think that one thing that was open to the public stood out to me.
Keyword, everybody's afraid of knockoffs.
Yes.
So all the key items but were behind closed doors. Hasbro, Mattel, MGA, Spin Master, they had great things, but knockoffs are a big problem in this industry.
Yes, exactly. But I do think that despite knockoffs, there's a lot of innovation happening across the entire show floor. I saw innovation in in a lot of categories that have kind of been a little stale the past few years. Dolls, we saw that with Elo Snap Stars. Right. Also vehicle toys. There's some cool stuff coming out from the company. I don't know if you checked them out. Far Out Toys.
Yeah, I saw Far Out Toys.
Yeah.
Ex-Mattel people.
Yes.
3 people from Mattel starting their own company. We see this all the time. Ex-Mattel, Hasbro, Spin Master. They leave, they want to form their own company.
And did you see the crash racers that they had? Awesome vehicle innovation. Like the
NASCAR coming.
Yes, they got the NASCAR license, just announced too, really cool. And also another small company that's making their way over from Australia, Head Start. They've got a pretty innovative set of...
I missed them.
Yeah, they've got, I can't remember the name of it.
There's so many companies. The one thing I don't understand is you go to Toy Fair and I feel like you need 2 weeks. I mean, how can you cover everybody?
Oh,
I mean,
you can't.
There's so many small companies. The incubator program, that whole area,
Yeah.
there's some cool stuff in there.
There is. And I think that a lot of people are also just finding innovation. And like you said, going back to the knockoff point, of these little guys coming in with big ideas too. And they're even kind of struggling with the idea of being knocked off just because they are so small.
Now I have to talk about knockoffs for a minute,
Yes,
because it's a big subject.
Yes.
And you have many people complain on LinkedIn about knockoffs.
Yes, we see it all the time.
but
it is something that is worth discussing.
It's because it's happening more and more, and it's so easy. Chip reproduction, going to China, getting things done in a matter of a couple weeks. I understand why people are hiding things. But what is a knockoff? And I ask you, what is a knockoff? Because I had this argument at Toy Fair with many people. So stealing the line from the social network, if I build a chair, but you build a better chair, is that a knockoff?
I don't think so. I think it's like one of those things where if it looks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck. Right. That's what a knockoff is. It's an exact replica of what they're doing. Whether it be the exact design, we see that often within terms of like the unboxing movement. We've seen a lot of knockoffs come about there. But I think that if you can take an idea and innovate off of it and make it better than maybe the person did before, I don't necessarily see that as a knockoff. I see it as an advancement of just what's happening.
I totally agree with you. To me, a knockoff is when you're just taking something and making it cheaper. Hey, you have something great for $29.99 and let's make it $19.99.
Yeah.
And just cheapen it, it's not as good quality.
Yeah.
That's a knockoff. If you take the idea of, like you talked about Hatchimals and LOL, everybody's still in the idea that the opening the package is part of the play and opening the product is part of the play. To me, that's not a knockoff. That's taking a great concept and trying to replicate that experience. And that's something else I saw everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Collectibles continues, I think, just in general. But we're seeing more innovation in the collectibles space. I don't know if you noticed it, just kind of jumping into one of the trends that I guess I saw, was just that we're seeing a lot of compounds being incorporated into the unboxing experience, more so I think this year. You know, you're seeing it with slimes, you're seeing it with doughs, it's just all over the place.
The compound area is really growing, and once again, there are great things behind closed doors that have not been shown, and you're going to see, which makes it especially hard for buyers, especially for the small and mid-sized retailers, because they're not shown some of these key things. And then all of a sudden, thrust upon them in June, boom, you know, do you buy it or not? But I do understand manufacturers wanted to protect their IP and their inventions.
Oh yeah, well I mean even just going into the showrooms not behind closed doors, more people are actually requesting that you wear badges into their showrooms too, to make sure that they're monitoring who's coming in and who's going out a little bit better too, I think.
In the old days of Toy Fair, I remember there were certain people that retailers would actually go from showroom to showroom and they drop them off to their friends who are manufacturers of competing products.
Well, that was when it was all in one building though, too.
Yeah, that was true. You could still do this here.
Yes.
The other thing that stood out to me is the number of influencers, not at the show, but the number of products based on influencers.
Very true. I mean, we're definitely seeing that in the gaming space big time. I think Ninja is a huge new license. Both Wicked Cool Toys has a whole line for Ninja, as well as Zuru, which is handling the blasters. And he just became popularized simply by playing the game.
That's a great job.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a video game and become a celebrity. Next thing you know, I'm a license. But it works because they have a built-in fan base, a built-in installation base. Look at Ryan. I mean,
my God,
year
Ryan.
one, 11 million. What did he make last year? 20 million or 25 million dollars?
Crazy. It's crazy. And now he's getting his own Nickelodeon show.
Can I be your uncle?
And he's getting his own Nickelodeon show now. So he's, I mean, but the one thing that I had talked with a couple people about that have the Ryan's World license and that are also working with other influencers such as FGTV, Bonkers Toys, which was the first licensee for Ryan's World. They're working very carefully in selecting the products off of these people. And they're working very hands-on, one-on-one with the individuals that they choose to work with and the licenses that they choose. So with Ryan's World, they have Ryan come in, sit down, play, and that kid is going to tell you right off the bat, like which toys he likes, which toys aren't. Yeah.
They have definite opinions. You know how kids say the darndest things?
Oh yeah.
Well, kids will tell you whether they like the toy or not. But there was also a lot of influence I haven't heard of that had products. I saw activity items downstairs, and people are jumping on having an influencer because a lot of them are rather inexpensive, but they have 10 million followers.
Right.
It's boom, built-in audience.
They've essentially replaced what celebrities used to be because parents and stuff want to look for something that's a little closer to their own opinions and what they're, like, they see them as more true to reality versus a celebrity endorsing a product too.
See, I look at it a different way. I look at it as they're affordable.
Well,
because
depends on the influencer though.
Okay, because I think Kardashians, you know, the
Yeah.
Kardashians like something, boom, you're going to sell a ton of them.
Yeah.
But how much does it cost to get one tweet or one post from the Kardashians?
Although some influencers that we've already talked about have pretty big price tags tagged to them now.
That's true, but they deliver.
Yes, that is true.
So Jen, as you walk around Toy Fair, I get the question over and over, what trends are standing out? Now we talk about packaging and open the toy to be a big part of it. How much of that did you see?
It's a very big part of it. I think Skyrocket is a really good example
I love
with
that Bloom.
which
Love Bloom.
equally kind of ties into another trend that I'm starting to see, which is that manufacturers are paying more attention to sustainability in their product design. Bloom, Skyrocket is investing more in that with the Bloom packaging and just being sustainable, and as well as a lot of other companies. Lego last year put a big investment into it that they're going to be using like more plant-based bricks and everything into their design. So I think like that's just another step. But yes, Bloom, amazing.
That's right, that was
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Even Barbie. Even Barbie now has surprise packaging.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. It's what kids want. You know, it reminds me of the old vending machines. You're a little too young for that.
Not that young.
Okay, you get the
I
you get the little
machines.
eggs and
Yeah.
open it, and you know,
Yeah.
for a quarter. I mean, opening the toy is now part of the play.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, and that just goes back to the whole YouTube idea and YouTube being the unboxing experience, and that's where that whole evolved from, and LOL Surprise is the leader for that.
I don't think I couldn't go anywhere without hearing the word influencer.
Oh yeah.
Now you mentioned Lego, and let's talk about some great hits from the show. And you know what's the hidden?
Hidden Side.
Huge.
Hidden Side.
Yes.
Perfect merging of both digital and physical play.
What do you think of it? As soon as it hit, so one thing came to mind.
Okay, Pokemon Go.
Yes, Pokemon Go meets Lego.
Yep.
Sorry, Lego, but that's exactly, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment, 100%. You know, I remember when they sat down to show it to us, I think we both had the same reaction, uh-oh, here we go, another AR toy.
Yep.
But it does it perfectly. Like the transition between physical and digital, you're constantly still interacting with the physical toy as you're doing in the AR world, and so yeah, it's great.
Do you know what I found amazing? Lines from smaller companies, like Think Fun, Fat Brain Toys. There were so many great items in these companies, but they just don't get talked about.
Yeah.
Instead, we talk about a llama, which I absolutely love. You love the llama.
I love the llama, but this is something I think we've talked maybe, or somebody else I've briefly mentioned too, is that I don't know how well it's gonna actually translate into actually like play beyond the first initial play experience of just watch it.
I don't think it has a lot of play outside of play experience, but I think it's like, do you remember Big Mouth, the bass?
Yeah.
What was that, Big Mouth, what?
Well,
Okay.
Kiss the Bass. Well, that's another, Big Mouth Bass is kind of coming back in a way.
I think it's Big Mouth Billy Bass.
Okay.
It was Big Mouth Billy Bass.
The Wall.
Yes.
Yeah, Play Monster's kind of bringing that back actually a little bit with a Kiss My Bass game.
Yes.
Which is kind of like a Bop It style game. So.
But I still have that. You just press it over and over, and the kids get up and start dancing with the llama. Well, I know it's a little bit of a watch me toy.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to talk Watch Me toys, then we have to talk about the continuation. I guess it piggybacks off of last year's poop toys. We're seeing a lot more like fart-based toys, I would say, this year.
Butt heads.
Yes, butt heads. Fart Ninjas from
Fart
Funrise
Ninjas, that's
as
right.
well, which I guess is too like a bit of a Watch Me type play experience. So, what companies surprised you that you weren't really expecting from this year?
Well, it's hard to say surprise because we see things so early.
Right,
you know, we start seeing things in September and October. What I was surprised by, so many new things that I hadn't seen from September until February. It's so hard in terms of toy development because, and this is because of the retailers. Okay, you have to show your toy line because they want to plan in October, November, but you haven't seen Christmas yet. So you're planning a toy line on something that might fail at Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you have to wipe it out and say, okay, there's not going to be a year two.
Yeah.
I go back to the things I saw in Backrooms. Mattel had 5 or 6 things that I can't talk about. I wish I could talk about that are amazing. But I understand why they're not sharing them. Hasbro had a couple amazing lines. I mean, 2 in particular, actually 3, but they can't share them, and I understand why they don't want to share them.
Yeah.
Moose Toys had 4 rooms.
Yeah.
Everybody had back rooms. Spin Master had a room. So actually, they had multiple rooms, and you go around, and to me, these were the highlights, and that's why they're protecting them.
Yeah. I mean, I still saw like a lot of great stuff though on the show floor. One company that surprised me, which I didn't even know about, was Yumi, which was in a separate room. They're the master plush global toy partner for Warner Brothers. So they've got such an assortment coming out that I'm really excited about. They've got some great unboxing experiences for Harry Potter fans, which is a license that blew up last year that I think we're gonna see carry over this year more. And they've got a Batmobile that operates like an Alexa. So you're essentially asking Alfred for help. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Now, 2019 is going to be a big movie year. There's a lot of movies. You can't judge everything by the trailer, and why movie licensing is so hard. You haven't seen the movie. We haven't seen the movie. Manufacturers haven't seen the movie.
Right.
So we're all taking a big guess on, is this going to be big or not? But what's your feeling on some properties? I mean, certain ones, I think Marvel, Avengers, I think that's a given.
That's a done deal.
Huge. Frozen, I mean, my feeling about Frozen is I don't want to judge just by a trailer. I'm judging
by a trailer.
Yes, no. I like the Frozen 1 trailer better because
it was lighter.
It was whimsical, it was funnier. I'm hoping we're going to see more funny from Frozen 2 and be funny, a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Also felt a little bit like an action hero.
I've heard rumors that it's trying to age up a little bit. I don't know how truthful that is, but it definitely felt a lot darker. And where's Olaf? I haven't seen a lot of Olaf, so I'm kind of interested to see that, considering he was such a breakout character.
I loved Olaf, but there is a new character in Frozen.
Yes, yeah.
So again, until we see the movie.
Again, yeah, I don't know.
So if you have to pick 1 or 2 movies that's going to generate the most toy sales, sitting here today,
Toy sales.
and I'm saying in 2019, the reason why I say 2019, right now, the home video often generates more sales. We've seen that.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it started with Frozen.
Frozen, we saw it with Moana, that
Trolls.
was a big one. Trolls.
Cars 3.
Cars 3.
Better with video. It's often because kids get more emotionally attached when they watch it over and over again.
Well, and I mean also just in general, parents aren't necessarily going to spend as much at the movie theaters. They're waiting until it comes out.
It's $80.
Yeah.
And plus, kids go from one movie to the next movie versus watching it over and over. And that's what really set off Frozen. Kids got it and they watched it 15 times in a day, and that was it. I need Elsa.
Yep.
So, what's your pick?
Well, okay, so one that I've just already fell in love with just from the trailer is the new Ugly Dolls movie. I think that's what
love Pitbull.
I think that's going to be one where we see the same thing happen when it hits video. Simply because it's such a musical movie, and I think that kids are just going to fall in love with singing along to the entire soundtrack. So, and some of the toys from Hasbro looked pretty awesome in terms of bringing that to life for kids.
See, well, I love the Avengers, and I think the Avengers is going to be big. There's something about Toy Story 4 that felt fresh. And for a property that's been around for many years, since 1996 and 1995, it felt really fresh. There's a new character, and it's like...
How do we feel about Forky, though? I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Well, I'm a Buzz and Woody fan.
Yeah. Well, there's some good toys coming out for Buzz and Woody.
Yeah, I know. Buzz looks like the star of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, those two stick out.
And Bo Peep.
Bo Peep is cute. You know, I'm not talking about Star Wars because Star Wars to me feels more 2020. I mean, it's coming out. They're having their Triple Force Friday.
Yes, and it's the same day as the first Frozen Fest that Disney is also doing the same day. So. And
the new TV show.
Yes.
So that's why they're calling it Triple Force Friday. Mark it on your calendars, October 4th. So I always like to make predictions. You look back, sometimes we're wrong.
Yeah.
Not me, but sometimes we're wrong. Yes, I've been wrong now and then, every 5-7 years, maybe it's a leap year. So if you had to make any predictions to this year, I have one in particular. Well, anything that's gonna pop, anything that you think that's a home run.
Toy-wise or movie-wise?
Toy-wise.
Toy-wise. I was actually a huge fan of Spin Master's new nail kit, which I don't know if you saw it. Yeah. It's kind of along the lines of we saw with Kumi Creator that was huge last year in terms of bracelet making, and I think that this one's going to tap into that same audience of like the arts and craft DIYer, which essentially what you do is you put on this product from Spin Master, you let your nails go under the dryer for a few minutes, it creates this stickiness to your nails, stick it under. You're essentially stickering your nails, but it's not like old school style where it's gonna peel off in like 2 seconds. It looks like a legit, like stylized manicure. Super awesome. I'm really excited about that one.
Nail play's always done well.
Yeah.
Well, I have one prediction, and to me, this is as close to a sure thing as possible. And this is based on its popularity worldwide, and something I saw. I think BTS is going to be over the top.
BTS dolls.
Yes, the BTS dolls.
Which we didn't actually see. They didn't have them out.
I saw them.
You tried to touch the jacket, and they almost took you out of the room for that one.
I actually saw them in the back room.
Oh.
And sorry. Sorry, they are unbelievable. We posted a couple of tweets, and the numbers were through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, we had one video that 300,000 views in a couple of days without the dolls.
Yeah, there wasn't even heads on them. Like it was just.
And their worldwide popularity, you know, I'm looking
That's going to be along the lines of what we saw with like past dolls like JoJo Siwa.
See, I thought Hannah Montana, High School, and One Direction. Bigger than One Direction. Bigger than Hannah Montana, and bigger than Britney Spears in terms of toys.
Yeah.
I think BTS, because the whole global phenomena, come time this Christmas when the dolls come out, and next year it's going to be 2 years boom.
Speaking of BTS though, I did spot the Funko Pop BTS figures, equally awesome, which I think Funko is going to have another huge year this year, especially now that they've acquired the gaming company FPC, which is pretty big for them too, so they're going to be moving more into that space. So yeah, I'm excited.
So that was Toy Fair 2019.
Keep tuning in to us here at A&B Media Shop Talks. We're going to be sitting down with a lot of big industry insiders, and they're going to be going in depth with us on topics that you might get a little bit more knowledge on than what you're seeing in the mainstream media.